Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we get together and we chit chat and we actually get a card made at the same time. Today's card is a cute little you're the best of the bunch stand-up card. And I'm looking at this card right now thinking I need to give this to my daughter, who is now a 4th grade teacher. Kirsten loves teaching 4th grade, and all the kids love her, and it's so fun to hear all the stories. She still lives with us for a couple more months before she gets married, and I always love to ask her, how was 4th grade today? How was 4th grade today? Now, this is a cute little card that stands up just like that, and you know what? The best part about it is it's so easy to make. Let me show you. Before we get started, let's go through the materials that we're going to need. We're going to need the bubbly stand-up that I designed for Sizzix. We're going to need the apples to stamp set from the Stamps of Life, the patterns for apples stamp set. We're going to also be using the dies from that die set, and we're going to be using this embossing folder, and I think this one's called Flowers and Rings, but it'll be on the website. Now we're also going to be using quite a bit of ink. We're going to be using the strawberry, the kiwi, and the licorice. And of course my ink blender. And let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is always, I stress this all the time, cut my card base. That way I have my foundation of what I'm supposed to do. Move all that over, and we're going to just trim that up. Now I have the right size paper. We're going to lay that down, and we're going to get the die out. We're also going to get out the large layering piece that's inside here also, because that we're going to use in a couple minutes. Oh, we're also going to use this border die later, so we'll get that out too. Now close all that up. So let's lay this down. We want to make sure we stay on our platform, but give it a little skew it just a little bit so it goes through the machine crooked, but stays on the platform. That's just going to give us a better cut. So we're just going to run that through. Now we're creating our card base. Now the die does all the cutting and the scoring for us. Don't worry, the cracking's normal. That's just the blade going through the cutting pad. So now I have my card base, and it has this wonderful score line. I'm just going to fold on that score line and line up my corners there. And then I'm just going to finger press these little score lines. And then there's this little belly button notch. I call it the belly button notch because it's right there in between. And we're just going to give it a little push. Now, see how it doesn't stay in there? It just kind of pops out. That's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to get a bone folder or our side of our block. We're just going to really score that center score. And look at that. Perfect. Okay, we'll put that off to the side because we're going to do some more die cutting. Now what we're going to do is we're going to die cut one of the layers. And we also need to die cut, let's move this over here. We also need to die cut this border. Now this border is dirty. The last time I used it, I did not clean it, which is very bad of me. And I do have a trash can down here, don't worry. Some of them land in there. And we are going to die cut this border out of this, but I don't want to have to add adhesive to this after I die cut it. So I'm going to get some Sizzix adhesive, and I know I'm going to have to die cut some other little things. I'm going to die cut my little stems from my apples from this ginger snap. So we're going to peel this up, save this time. Usually we throw it away. We're going to put this right here on that cardstock, and then we're going to put this right here. Now, is there anything else we need to die cut that needs adhesive on the back? Normally you would think we would want to do the leaves, but the leaves are going to hang off just a little tiny bit, so we don't want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back on. Okay, and then you can tear or cut. I'm lazy, so I just tear the backing away. And what that's creating is it's saving all that extra adhesive for me for later that I'm not using. And it's keeping my hands sticky free. There we go. So now, and I always like to kind of just fold that over so it doesn't go through my machine. So we're good to go. Trim that down a little. And so let's lay that down. Lay our border down. And we also need to get out our little stems. Oh, and we're going to die cut some leaves too, so we might as well get those out as well. So there's our little tiny stem die. Be careful you don't lose it. And we're also going to get out some leaves, and I think we're just die cutting these. So let's get out this, and we're going to die cut those as well. And I think we're ready to go. So let's get, look, I wonder if we can fit all of this under here. If we move this a little bit, I bet you we can. Nope, we can't. We'll use the big one. So we'll run all this through. The smaller the cutting pad, the less rotations on the machine that you need to do, or the faster it'll die cut. So just a heads up. And we're gonna let all that go through. The little beep beep beeps on the funny little border. Okay, now we need 2 stems, so I'm gonna die cut another one of those really quick. Get this piece out. Move those off to the side. So let's just get our small cut. Oh, where did my small? Oh, there it is. Small cutting pad, because we can just run that through real fast. We're just going to run that little guy through. See how much faster that is when you use the little one? Okay, so now we have 2 stems. We have our border die cut with the adhesive on the back. So let's do some adhesive first. So we're going to add our layer here. And that's going to be perfectly layered right there on our card. How easy is that? Look at that. Done. And then what we're going to do is we need to emboss. Now, embossing is a little different because, look at this. First of all, I'm just going to use a smaller piece because we're just going to do a little border. But I cannot take this embossing folder and put it on my magnetic platform. Why? Well, many reasons, but the most important reason is it'd be too thick of a sandwich to go through my machine, and that would break my machine. So what I need to do is get my multi-purpose platform. It's the one that came with your machine. This is not the one that came with my machine. This is a different one from an older machine. Same idea. And we're gonna take tab 2 and move it off to the side. Thread it through our machine, and we're gonna use this part of our platform. And of course, we're going to make a sandwich, so we're going to put our paper in here, we're going to lay that down, and we're going to get our second cutting pad and run that through the machine. So we need our sandwich or our plate to be a little thinner for that thick embossing folder. Now, look at how fun, I love this. Look how fun this and deep that beautiful embossing is. Now, you're going to want to trim that down a little bit, and we've already trimmed it down here, so you don't have to watch me do that, but look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that fantastic? You could also ink this over this. Actually, let me just show you that. I'm not going to do it on this card, but I just want to show you what it looks like to ink it with the blenders. So I'm just going to grab some ink, and we're going to just lightly go over it. Look at that. Now, of course, you'd want scratch paper underneath you when you do this, but look at how fun it just really pops that embossing. Okay, that was just a little tip. Okay, so let's add some adhesive to this. Just like so. Dun, 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 dun. Now, let's talk apples. Apples, apples. We've already die cut one here, just a regular die cut. Now, the second one, what we want to do, let's get our magnetic platform because I feel naked without it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to stamp the pattern of the apple. And we're going to get out the swirly one because the swirly one is so dang cute. One of my favorites. I love the swirls. Ah, love that smell. Okay, so we're going to ink this baby up. This is a brand new stamp. And what do I always say about brand new stamps? You always want to stamp on scratch paper, especially one that's this solid. So let's get some scratch paper. Stamp on my secret weapon. Beautiful, beautiful, even though that was the first time ever it was stamped. Always, and another thing, this is another tip. I see this a lot when I teach classes. I learn a lot when I teach classes. You think you're the only ones learning when I teach a class, but I learn a lot. And a lot of times people will ink it and they'll stamp it and they'll go, ah, it didn't stamp good. Well, you need to look at it. Make sure you have ink on the entire surface before you stamp it, because you're not going to get a good image if you don't have ink there. And you're going to press on the back of the stamp. A lot of times people will just stamp like this and think it's done. No, press on the back so it gets nice, beautiful pressure, and then you get a beautiful image. So people always like to blame the stamps. A lot of times it's more user error, but not user error, but I don't want to say that. It's usually just not knowing. It's just not knowing, and that's why we do videos, so we can educate. So let's grab that, and we're going to grab the die, and we're going to use this die. We're going to use the solid die. We're gonna lay that down right over that image and we're gonna run that through. Can I use the little one? Oh, I love when I can use my little cutty pad. It's like a little gift. Awesome. So now I have this cute little guy cut out. And then what I wanna do is I'm gonna ink the edges of my apple because, you know, we just wanna add some more definition and add some more fun. So we're gonna use our smaller ink pad to do our inking because we don't want to contaminate our big ink pads where we do our stamping or our inking of our stamps. And look at how fun that is. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that looks good enough to eat. Okay, you can always tell when I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. It's dinner time. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to add this to our card. Now I have red fingers all over, and we'll get rid of that. So let's add this, and we want to pop, oh, we're not gonna pop this one up. So we can add this one, but now we need to find our little stem. Now our little stems, remember, oh, here they are. Luckily they stayed in there pretty well. So our little stems have a little bit of adhesive on the back. So we're gonna add those right there. Oh my goodness, that is, oh, he just popped off. That was funny. Okay, so we're gonna add him right there. Stay. See, he's sticking to my finger because he has that adhesive. You're not gonna stay right there, are you? Stay. Okay, let's put this down first. Okay, so we're gonna lay this down here, and I'm just trying to measure up with there. Okay, so let's put him on the paper, that will help. Look at how cute he is. Oh, and we're gonna add a little leaf. And this is gonna go off the edge a little, so kind of just go like this. And we'll just do that. Now I do have adhesive on the back, so when you add adhesive, make sure you don't get it on the back unless you're not gonna hang it over. Now this one's gonna pop up just ever so slightly. So tonight is date night, and every Tuesday night we have date night, and Ken gets to pick one week, and then the next week I get to pick when we go out, where we go out to dinner. And he hasn't told me where we're going tonight, so I'm a little nervous. He likes to pick weird places. And when I say weird places, I mean places that you wouldn't normally think of for dinner. Like he likes, I don't know, I don't want to talk about it, but I always like to know where I'm gonna go. It's like a big deal to go out to dinner, so I like to know because I like to think about it. I like to go, yum, or I better eat something before I go. I crack myself up. So I'm gonna add that little guy right there. And let's see, we are almost done. Let me make sure, oh, we gotta add the inside. So we're going to stamp, "You are the best of the bunch." See, I started thinking about food and now I just can't think about anything else. Okay, "You are the best of the bunch," and we need to get a block. Oh my gosh, I love that smell. I hope I'm not the only person that smells the stamps. I do hear from some of you once in a while that say that you smell the stamps too, so I'm not the only crazy out there. Where'd my scratch paper go? Okay. Perfect. Oh wait, I gotta check my sample. Okay, so it goes up here. Okay, so we're gonna stamp that. Now, do you notice how my stamping is always gorgeous? Always, even when it's the first time and it's on scratch paper? That's because I'm using the secret weapon below me, okay? It really, really, really helps. It's not silly, it's true. It's physics. Trust me, I did not do well in physics. So I'm just peeling the back of this off, and I'm gonna lay this down here. And then I'm just gonna add some fun buttons just for kicks. So let's add, and look, they are, my little helpers already put the bow through there. I just love them. Okay, so we're gonna add some little, adhesive to the back of this. And let's just add this little guy right there. And then we're just gonna add these fun little white. I love tone on tone. Don't be afraid to do tone on tone because it just adds, and when I say tone on tone, I mean white on white or blue on blue. It just adds so much, and they're there, but they're not there, but they're there. It's so much fun. Look at this, isn't this gorgeous? Oh, look at that. You are the best of the bunch. And look at this. Kirsten is gonna be so excited to get this little card. Don't tell her I'm giving it to her, okay? Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we get together and we have some fun. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
got it on your own. Your shadow in the black light, looking over, taste the good life. 'Cause even though you got it, it's never like you got it on your own. Your street light, standing foolish in the late night, taste the cool lips. 'Cause even though you got it, it's never like you got it on your own. Don't let it get you off, don't let it make you feel bad. Feelings just like love. Wear it on your sleeve, you wear it like a prize one. Cheap and boring, man. You wanna see the way she acts so small. You wanna see the way she smiles. You wanna see the way she talks so cheap.